Hey guys, it's Teatime here with a brand new speed build. Now this is a collab with a wonderful simmer, MindieLeeTV. I will link her YouTube channel down below, as well as Twitter and other things you can follow her on. She's really lovely. She's been doing a 30 days of collaborations challenge, which is insane. So go check out her stuff for that reason alone, guys. Yeah, go show her some love because there's a lot of effort gone in. Anyway, today I am doing with her the collaboration on a mansion build. So what happened was she went out looking for collaboration friends, and I said, yeah, I'll do one, and these are the ones that I wouldn't mind doing. But this one here, the mansion, is difficult, and you know, if you really need me, let me know, but obviously it's not the high preference. And so she came back to me saying, yes, the mansion. So I was like, okay, let's go for it. But it's been so much fun. So she did the build. I will link that video at the end of this. Hopefully I'll be able to do that straight away. And perhaps I'll link it down the bottom as well. But do go check that out. She's been doing an amazing job. So in this mansion, I kind of wanted to take inspiration from what she'd done. I really try not to touch her work too much. But there's a couple of things, like you can see now, where I am making this a little bit outdoorsy. Now there's a reason because I have come up with an entire story for the people that live here. I don't always do this, but when it comes to something as big as a mansion, I felt like I had to. It makes it doable. Usually for something like a mansion, if I was to put this up on my channel, I would probably put it up in, at the very least, 2 or 3 bits, if not more, quite a few more. But as it is, because we're releasing on the same day, it's a collaboration, I didn't want to extend it, so this is like 40 minutes of me talking, which I don't think I've done before. It's insane. Anyway, back to the story. So, the story I've come up with for this is there is a woman. She's a single mum. She's bought this house. She is rich and famous. I've gone with that she is a social media star, SimTube. I don't know what the equivalent is, but she is basically like a personal trainer slash social media fitness guru. She has her own line of products, protein powders, beauty products. She goes through beauty routines. She goes through self-care. She's got cookbooks on health and all sorts of things, so you won't see things around the house like too much alcohol. She has a couple of bars, but I suspect the things she has are healthy drinks, and that's where she actually mixes some of her protein drinks. But you'll see in her studio she does have her protein powders up. She's got some awards she's won. She's a little bit of a boaster in my mind, and she's so career focused. So as you can see, I am building right now her gym. So this is her own personal gym. It's insane. She does some of her personal training here, her own work. I also do stick a drone in so she can film as she's going. And the reason I've opened up that downstairs area is because it's a bit of a indoor-outdoor quiet area for yoga, for Pilates routines, for her slower work. Whereas upstairs, I'm thinking that under those floorboards there's some springs. It's a nice bouncy floorboard. She can do her athletic, really big cardio and muscle and strength work up in this top area. I do put some laundry baskets in. I'm trying to keep it kind of realistic. I do see this woman as having at very least a maid come in and do the cleaning, but she's very on top of things, so she may or may not end up having a butler. Not sure. Yeah. I do really want to make her, I must admit. So I did say she's a single mum. She has 2 teenage kids in my mind. 1 girl and 1 boy, similar-ish age, and perhaps her husband left her for reasons I have not come up with, not important. but she's been left alone, and she is not a great mum. She wants her kids to follow in her footsteps. She wants them to be fit all the time, but I see at least the son as being a little bit heavier, and he's very much into music. So he is not interested, whereas the daughter, I think, is trying to please him. I'm trying to get attention from a mum that is not particularly present. So she does her workouts. Her room is very similar to her mum's. It's all light and feminine, and she so she's trying to please her mum. But yeah, there's a lot of areas for the kids for their social lives. Their mum's gym is their mum's gym, and her studio is her studio. But there are a lot of other places that the kids can go, and they can take friends. And so this is one of them. I have made a home theatre. Of course, we have to have a home theatre in a mansion, because we do. Anyway, she's come in and she's renovated this place. So like I said, I haven't changed much on the outside. I've changed practically nothing, just a couple of little additions for the character. But I absolutely love this build. I got given this. I was so scared about a mansion, guys. But MindieLee sent me this, and it was this big modern thing. Oh, I was so happy it was modern and not really traditional, because it gives me a better chance to mix styles, use some modern things, and I wanted to go a little bit sparse in some places. So that was a relief, I tell you. It was really a relief, because it's so terrifying doing a mansion that somebody sends you, but so much fun. I recommend doing it. If you've got a chance for a collab, you've got a channel, get someone to make you something impossible to furnish, because it's really fun. I mean, this took me forever. So my footage for this was over 8 hours. And then I sped it up into a speed build, and it was still about 2.5. So I did a lot of cutting. I do cut out most of the bathrooms and just a couple of other little things, but honestly, a lot of it's in here. It was just a lot of work to get it to fit into around 40 minutes. So you and I both didn't just die from, speed build exposure. I don't know what I'm saying. Here I'm changing this white inside wall to the wall that Mindie's actually used on the outside. It's a really nice, slightly textured white wall, which I thought was really good for the indoors of the house as well as that base. So most of this house is using that wooden paneling and a white wall to give it a clean, modern, but slightly dark and light mix tone to it. So these are little alcoves that MindieLee put in, and I wanted to do something simple but decorative with them, so I ended up putting those pot plants in. Here I am changing this up. This is sort of how it ends up being. Mostly, the door does move again. But one of those rooms is a laundry, but it has access to the outside as well as clotheslines and a lot of gardening tools and things. So I suspect the maid or gardener or butler sort of access that room, and nobody else really goes in there. I don't think they do their own laundry, honestly. Yeah. Okay, so we are moving on to the kitchen. It took me a while to figure out where I wanted the kitchen in this house, honestly. Partially because of where Mindie put the windows. I didn't want to move windows. I did add a couple of things here and there, but I didn't want to move what she'd done because she placed it there for a reason, and I don't know, that's insulting to just move someone's work completely around, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to insult someone I'm doing collab with. That's horrible. So I left those windows, and they're beautiful. I love them, but it was hard putting the kitchen around them. But I do love how this ends up. It is not the most extravagant kitchen. It is a little bit simple, which I love. I love that this woman is so out there, crazy, famous, but also simple, or at least she wants to look like she's simple. It's a little bit of smugness going on about her, I think, in that she loves being seen in a particular way. Yeah, I thought that was a kind of fun little touch. So I do change this to a darker wood. Here we go. This darker wood cabinetry. So it's bringing that dark woods back in. There's a lot of dark woods in this build, just because I find dark wood is a more extravagant wood. So you go to IKEA, you get yourself something plastic and white, or you get your pine or whatever, when you don't have a lot of money. So I thought the thing that I love is this dark wood, and yet I can never fit it in my tiny homes in real life, nor can I afford it. So dark wood is where I really wanted to go with this. Anyway, guys, what are you thinking about Strangerville? I did have a guess at what it was going to be in my last build video, perfect patio stuff starter. I did talk about what I thought it was going to be. I was partially right. I was also wrong in certain ways. I think everybody is. Everybody loves guessing these things, I think. But are you excited? Would you want me to do something on that? I probably will anyway. Give it a go and we'll see what the reception of that is. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those packs that I don't care about, and at the same time I probably just don't know I want it. So I feel like that'll be very fun. I just gotta get to the point where I'm acknowledging that it's awesome. It may not be, but if it's anything like the reception of the trailer and the hyping up and the, oh goodness, man, that whole introduction to that pack was just crazy, just absolutely crazy. And really well done. Well done, Sim Gurus. Claps for Sim Gurus. And that whole team that probably planned that. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, I love what I've done here with a little island in the kitchen to sit at. It's a bit like a breakfast table, but a tall one with whatchamacallem? Stools. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yes, a tall one with some stools. I really like it. I don't always like sticking the bench pointing in. Look, it's nice having room, I think, to create a kitchen. That's one of those things about a mansion build is, what do you want to do with the kitchen? Do you want a butler's pantry? Do you want a nice little kitchen? Is your sim going to use the kitchen? In this case, I think this sim is somewhere between using the kitchen and it being a not so big, but also simplified kitchen. Nicely, simply decorated, usable. A little functional space. It's got a little family room there, even though I don't think she would very often sit with her kids. But I think the appearance is there, and maybe her kids sit together before school in the morning. I suspect their brother and sister are probably quite close, considering they mostly have only had each other to sort of rely on when their mum's a little bit absent. Anyway, this is more of the formal dining room setting I'm doing here. I wanted to do something interesting as a rug, and I do settle on this one right here as a sort of a lime green yellow, I'm not sure what that color is, rug, which I just always think complements dark wooden tones and black really well. So I loved that, and double rug there is a fun little trick to make something a little bit more interesting. I am sticking a bar in. This sim, I know she's not particularly interested in drinking, but like I did say before, maybe it's protein shakes, maybe it's for entertaining. I feel like she's a bit of an upfront show-off type person, so some entertainment would come in there. Also, it's nice to have in a mansion. It's got to be there, so if you want to put a different family in here, that totally makes sense to have the bar. But it's nice just sitting next to the formal dining room and very accessible to the outdoors area, which I will finish later on. So just finishing up some decorating touches in this room here, and then we are going to move on. So we're doing the entryway. I did cut a little bit out here. I moved the window. Sorry, Mindie. I moved this window because I really wanted to put a little piece here as a entryway side table, or I'm not sure, is there an actual word for what you call those? I'm sure there is, but I just don't know what it's actually called. Whatever, it's unimportant. But I did this one. I do add a mirror. It's a bit of a modern little feature here. I love putting those those little letters there. And I do put the shoes underneath here now, again to go with that idea that this woman is organized and neat and doesn't want her kids to make a footprint in more than one way in her house. There are rooms dedicated to them and their entertainment and the entertainment of their friends, but it is her house. I think that's very important in the way I went about decorating it. This place is hers. Yeah, but I do like that I've done curtains on these on the doors in and out in some of these areas as well. It does feel finished, I think, when I do that. Again, little rug in the kitchen is always nice, and a mirror. I do get the small one in a sec, and raise it up. I like that. Again, I cut a little bit here just because there was so much to edit. But I do find a fireplace is really lovely. I don't put a TV in this room. This is, I think, more of a quiet space for the mum and maybe for her friends to sit. Maybe she can even sit here with people she's going to go through training with. She shoos her children out somewhere else and she sits down in front of the fireplace and just talks through maybe the training regime she's going to go through and whatnot. Maybe she even films some stuff in front of this. It's a nice little simple setup that might look nice, I guess, in footage. So yeah, that's sort of what I was going for. Very neutral, light and simple with that dark feature wall. I was playing around with the idea of doing the wooden or brick, I'm not entirely sure, whatever the outside wallpaper is that you can sort of see there. I was toying with using that on the wall, but it didn't quite sit inside in the same way as it sits outside. So it definitely goes, the inside and the outside go, but they don't, like that crossover doesn't work in the same way. Anyway, I'm just rambling. I don't even know what I'm saying. So here I am sort of copying that entryway idea near the back door. I should have just left that little towel thing there. That would be cute. Oh, I didn't put that outside. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. When you do see the pool area, guys, if you download this house, add one of those little baskets from, is it Laundry Day or Parenthood? It could even be cats and dogs. I don't remember. I think it's Laundry Day. Add that little basket out the back because it looks good. It would look great there, really would, or a couple of towels or something. I just totally forgot. I was sort of done by that point, so it's one of the last things I do. So here I'm using this light. I think I changed it to the spiral light. Yep, here we go. And the normal down lights here fit perfectly in there, which was very interesting, and so I left it. There was no reason. It's not because it looked the best, it's because I was fascinated by the fact that the round light fit inside the other round light. There you go. Here we go. Moving on to her office now. So this is her recording studio specifically for, her basic routines, her, I don't know, talking, her, I don't know. I'm not a fitness tuber type person, so I don't know what you do. I barely even watch them, but there's plenty of room in here to do things. So she does end up having a little couch to sit on and maybe even record on. It's a nice one. I do skip a little bit here because it took me so long to figure out which orientation I wanted to stick that stupid media center on. I don't know. I find it really annoying that it's got a diagonal on it. I can never get that to fit anywhere, and it's so frustrating. I wish that those pieces had come somewhat separately and we could put them on whatever table we like. Even though I do like that diagonal table, it doesn't have a lot of places it can go, and it's really annoying. But that's just me. It might be fine for you. Here I'm putting a couple of drones in. There's one in the office and there's one in the sort of home gym, just as a, easy access to those. Anyway, putting a bit of decoration here, a bit of greenery. I figure these are maybe some of the books that she reads for fitness, or perhaps some of the books that she writes on fitness, fitness inspiration books. This is a bit of a display here on some of the trophies that she's won and some of the books she's written or read or whatever. It's a show-off shelf. That's what it is. And those are her products sitting nice behind her camera there so that everybody can see them when she films. Those are her products. Product placement is important, apparently. But just sticking a couch down, a bit of decoration, and then we're pretty much done in this room. Yeah, so here we are moving upstairs. So I've got... I didn't want to change this again too much. I don't want to change anything that really Mindie has done because I really did love it. I appreciated so much that she did some floor plan for me. Oh my goodness, you do not understand. Floor plan is the worst. Actually, you probably do understand. If you build in Sims at all, floor plan is the worst. So doing anything for me was just brilliant because it gave me ideas and something to work with, and oh my goodness, thank you, Mindie. Thank you. So that was much easier for me because of that. I did, when I did something to that hall though, all of the roofs sort of came into the house as it does happen. So I cut out me fixing that for free forever. It took me forever to figure out what to do, but this is essentially the end layout I go with. for this upstairs area. Nice clean white walls again, and I'm just trying to figure out, I guess, what doors I'm using and where everything's going. I do create, as you can see here, sort of a his and hers bathroom. Double access into 2 bedrooms for that bathroom. It is a bathroom that is shared by the son and the daughter, whose bedrooms you can see are there, one on the left, one on the right. Not on screen right now, but yes. And I like the size of their rooms, the access to the rooms and to the bathroom. It feels right. It feels like they're contained in their own little space and the mum doesn't have to think about them. Anyway, we're working on the master bedroom now. Nice big bed from Get Famous. You will need Get Famous for this download to work properly. I do believe there are some things that, like the bed and whatnot. But I mean, you can always replace things, especially if you watch this and sort of get ideas about what you might want to do if you want it to look similar as well. So here I'm just fixing up. So I don't know if you've seen these. They're from a Get to Work. They're the chrome panels that you could stick on the wall. They come in a lighter chrome, a more silver, darker one, and then the black. And they are so useful. So if I've got curtains that I can't get to match up, or something like the curtains from, I think, Glamour stuff or something, Vintage Glamour, yes, there's curtains in that do not sit right. They never sit together. They never sit so it looks like the railing meets. So that's sort of where I discovered trying to do this thing with these chrome panels from Get to Work, where you put it there and it looks like that's the railing. That's where the curtain hides behind. They could slide all the way across. So I'm given the idea that the curtain can slide all the way across and shut fully, and I just love the look, and I use it quite often in my builds that are bigger and modern. In other builds too, but sometimes it's hard to get that to hide certain curtains. So I mean, it doesn't work all the time, but yeah, it is one of my favorite things to do with those curtains in particular that I've been using. I am just moving some greenery down here into this sort of yoga area. I thought that was a really nice touch. And you may notice in the house there's a lot of, the art is very simple. It's either modern or abstract, or perhaps it's just a wall decoration rather than an art piece. I kind of wanted that simple look throughout the house. There's not a lot of crazy decorative interesting art. She's not a collector or anything. It's just a decoration on the wall, and so there's quite often nothing particularly interesting about the pieces I put up. So I'm just using these lamps here from Get Famous. Very cute. And that one is from Luxury Party Stuff. That lamp in the corner of the room near the couches. It's one of the places it's actually worked for me, so replace it if you don't have that pack, and I generally don't suggest getting it if you don't. Do replace it with something else, but I think it looked great there, so there you go. Here I am just swapping things around. This wooden panel again I think is a real feature that I go with in most of the rooms to make it look unified. I think that unified look suits the sim that's in my mind again, and we do just grab from Get Famous, yes, this thing here. It's a cabinet that's got space to put things down, so you can put your makeup on it and things like that, and I do put a few things along those lines on this cabinet here. I just cut it out there. They are placed there specially, and I move them later and don't place them back specially because I couldn't be bothered. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry if it looks like a jumbled mess if you download the house. I'm so sorry. It's such a big house. Oh, here we go. That is a trick. If you just saw me putting windows across the walk-in robes, or those bigger wardrobes from Get Together, I think it is. Those are usable still. You just need to click on the wardrobe rather than the wall or the mirror. And that might take effort if the walls are not down in this huge walled house. Very tall walls, so hard to work with, but yeah, you can still use those. So they walk through the mirror. It looks stupid sometimes, but I love the look. I honestly really love the look, because a lot of the wardrobes that I have that are like that, those built-in ones, do have a mirror along the front of them, and I thought one day, I'm going to try that and see if it works, and it did. So you can still use those walk-in robes, those little built-in robes. Anyway, we are working on the boys' room here. The son, I suspect he's maybe the older of the two kids. He's his own self, very simple. I suspect his mum actually made his room for him. So there's a lot of her style in here. Like maybe she doesn't trust him as much as the daughter. But there's a lot of personality. The posters, he's allowed to put those up in his room. And not only that, he does have his own keyboard and he has a bit of a mess around the room as well. I find it very realistic to put certain types of clutter around a room for a teenager, particularly a teenage boy, because teenagers are often slobs. Let's be honest with ourselves. Just dump clothes. Hey, I still do it and I'm like 30 something, but teenagers particularly just love dumping stuff. They're just learning proper responsibility and whatnot. If you're a teen, that's not a talk down to you. That's just I've been there. At least I was a slob, okay? You may not be. I was a freaking slob. And I know a lot of teenage boys are. Hence the generalization. Whew. Yeah, please don't hurt me. Here I am just working on the sister's room. I didn't know what to do with it until I put some mirrors on this one. And I did change them to white and then change that. And that sort of idea of a very light, almost monotoned room came from doing that. So I start to change it all, and in the end the color scheme ends up being a light blue and white, which is really nice. It's a sort of very soft feminineness to it, which I like because I think the daughter in my mind maybe tries to be a bit like her mum, tries to get on with her mum, does fitness, this and that, to try and get her mum's attention. It doesn't really work, but her mum does trust her a bit more than the son. She's younger, she's sort of precious to her in a weird kind of way, and she sort of let her have a bit more input in her room, I think, is probably what happened here. I'm just trying to find an art piece to put up here, and I do go with, I think, that one at the top there, and I enlarge it. Just a nice simple piece, a nice nature piece I thought was very appropriate for this girl. So she's a teen, but I suspect she's quite a young teen. Popular girl at school. She's probably a bit annoying, but also a bit lost and lovely at the same time. And I don't know, I mean, I'd really love someone to make this family. If you do really want to and do make the family, please do tag me in it so I can have a look. I would absolutely love to see that. I'll download this house, put the family in, it'd be great. And yeah, see it sort of in action. But I am putting a vanity in. I thought that suited this girl really well in my mind. And just a bit of makeup. I do move her around now, yeah. I think that works a bit better, and I do end up putting some little cushions and seats at the end of her bed, to give her like a little space where she can chat to her friends. And then there's plenty of floor room for school projects, or maybe she wants to do exercise in her room, who knows, when her mama has got a training session on or filming and won't let her in the gym. But yeah, this is where I'm starting to get that idea of a blue and white color scheme, and I do end up changing the bed here. I will find the one I use in a moment. Yes, this one. I just found that it sinks into those marble pieces at the end of the bed still fine, and also the ottoman did suit, so yeah, that's what I went with. So here we are moving on to the study. This is kind of the teens' room. It's their space. There's space to have their computers, do their homework, read books. It's a bit like a private library as well, this room. But there are a few more fun things in the room as well. Here we go. So this is me doing some creative bookshelves. I really love this idea. I think I've seen it before, but these bookshelves stack this way the best. So you need to use the 9 key with move objects on to lift up those bookshelves on top of each other. But I really love how it looked. I do fiddle with this area for quite a while, trying to make it look good, and cut quite a bit out. Anyway, while this bit's going, I might just tell you a little bit more about Mindie. She has sent me something about herself, so I'm gonna read some of it out. So Mindie is from Southern California, and she's been playing Sims 4 for about 7 months. So she wasn't really playing before that, although she did dabble in Sims 3 a bit, I believe. She loves building more than playing, because she gets to use imagination and creativity to build beautiful homes and things like that, which I think we can all relate to mostly. I am a very creative person, she says. She has been since she was a child, and she loves creating and using that creativity to make people smile, which I think is really nice. So yeah, again, go check her out. Yeah, I did get that little gorgeous bio while I was having a break, because I've chopped this recording into so many pieces. The first time I cut it was at about 10 minutes. I had to get up and go and get my daughter from daycare. Oh, now if you've been watching me on Twitter at all, this has actually happened already, like twice. She has been sick the last 3 Fridays. I don't know how, but 3 Fridays ago, I took her into daycare, and then I got a call saying she's got a high fever, so I came and I got her. And then last week on a Friday, they gave me a call saying, oh, she might have this thing that is, contagious, so, we need you to go to a doctor and make sure she doesn't or does, so we can know what to do about it. And, everybody's well-being, of course. I'm like, yeah, I'll come pick her up. Anyway, she was fine. Turns out she wasn't actually sick, and that was fine. But, safety and little kids and spreading things, you know how it is. Maybe you don't. But that's the thing. Kids spread things like crazy. So I went and picked her up then. So that's 2 weeks I've lost Friday for my work day. This week, so just as I'd gone like 10 minutes into recording the voiceover for this, I get a call again. My husband says the daycare's called him. I call them anyway. She's got a high fever again. So she came home. Oh, I lost another day. I just swear. Ever since getting back from New Zealand, I've not had, I've gone up to about 4 videos in a week, and it has been a fight to do them, like a real fight. Because before I went to New Zealand, I was thinking, no, I can do this. If I can keep sort of ahead of myself a bit, I've got a bit of a backup if something goes wrong and whatnot. But I didn't, because I was only just back from New Zealand, I didn't really get a chance to get ahead of myself. And considering I've only had 2 days to work, and then whatever else my husband allows me to have when he's looking after my daughter, or our daughter, should I say. Yes, that's the only time I've had to sort of catch up on things, so it's been a fight. So thank you for sticking with me, guys. It's been a bit strange, but hopefully getting back on track. Man, if she comes home another Friday, I swear, I didn't think it was going to happen this week. I'm like, what's the chances? That seems strange. Maybe she just doesn't like Fridays. I don't know. Anyway, I should let you know what we're doing now. We are working on this. Now, this is sort of, in my mind, it is either a guest room or maybe the butler's quarters. So I set it up so it was mostly a fully functional space all on its own. Yeah, so it could be used for an individual, perhaps not a kitchen up here. I was tempted to, oh my goodness, how good would it be if we got mini fridges? I don't know why, but a mini fridge. How cool would a mini fridge be? Like a tiny kitchenette. If you could make a little kitchenette, that'd be so cool. Oh. Maybe if they give us hotels and hotel management, we can get mini fridges. Yeah, I'm on it. Well, I'm not on anything. I don't make the game. I don't make any decisions. I just play. But yes, that is what that room was, and it has an ensuite. It is all decked out for your butler to take care of things. Yeah, I'm not sure if I see the sim that I've put in this house having a butler, but it's there. Yeah, maybe a guest room. Thinking maybe she's got a sister or something, or maybe the dad of the kids comes and stays now and then because he lives a lot further away, and he wants to visit his kids. I don't know exactly what the story would be there. You can let me know if you've got a great idea. I always love hearing ideas. But yes, anyway, we are onto bathrooms. I only show, I think, 2 bathrooms. I show the parents' bathroom, so the master suite's bathroom, and the bathroom that is the his and hers sort of 2-door bathroom between the kids' rooms. So this is the master ensuite, and this is huge. This was a really big bathroom Mindie made for me, and it was a challenge, but I loved it. I actually ended up putting a massage table in here because I'm thinking she's got a private masseuse. So I did that, and with that in mind, and I love the little bath area. I think it's cute. I actually changed all the showers up. I've made them black there, but I do change them to be the white color because I find it almost feels like it's flowing out of the marble sort of, or the stone textures on the wall and the floor, like it's a part of the installation. I'm doing an action with my hands you can't see, like an upward action, part of the installation. Yeah. And I think it looks better, and I do that in all the bathrooms. So the bathrooms are mostly the same. I'm using those mirrors, these plants. The rugs changed. I think that's the biggest thing. But everything else, it's pretty much the same objects. Different places, of course. But I do love... There you go. You can see I've got the... I'm moving around, so you can't really see anything. But I do have the massage table in that master ensuite now. So this is the kids' bathroom. I do take a while to figure out that I probably want those benches all the way across the wall at the end, and I do that in a second. Take the bath out. So I think there is only one bath in the house. One? Yes? I don't remember. I think there's only one bath in the house, and that's in the mum's room because she's the one that gets the luxury. Yeah. So that's, I think, the only one. So here I have on the left, I start setting up a little section for the brothers' items. Some manly things, shaving cream, I don't know what's there. Just a little pack that's titled men's toiletries or whatever it is. So, yep, that's what it is. There we go. I've taken away the bath, giving the toilet more room. So there's more privacy in the middle. But then we've got this big open space. So, I do stick a little bench in here. So it sort of separates the doors from each other. So it doesn't feel like you can walk straight through from one to the other. It does separate that a bit more, which I really like, and I love this little bench that we've got there for it. Now here I am making another pampering area outside, so we're onto the exterior. Oh man, when I got to the exterior when I was building this, I was like, yes, almost done. Because it's like, I think mansions is one of those things where you're like, oh, this is amazing, and also kill me at the same time. Because it's just such an effort. But man, it's like rewarding as well. Especially when I get to make a video, because this is one of the reasons I actually started doing YouTube. It's because you make something and maybe some people say, yeah, that was great on the gallery if you upload it, or maybe someone says, yeah, that's cute. But I don't feel like I get to interact and tell the story. And this is, I mean, before YouTube, I think my husband was my venting space, and my sister, who doesn't care. I mean, she plays Sims, but she doesn't care about what I'm talking about. And I can tell, and it's funny, and I would try and blab things at her just to annoy her. It was good fun. That's what you do with sisters. But yeah, I would just tell my husband all these things, and he was one of my biggest supporters starting YouTube, because he loved the things that were coming out of my mouth and out of my head, and I was like, you really think I should start? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So he's been amazing. But yeah, this storytelling, man, it's one of the reasons I started, is so I could share the crazy creativity nonsense that's in my head. And maybe I get a response for it, maybe not. Who cares? The fact that I've been able to share it is just, it feels really good. Yeah, I love it. I got a little smile on my face, guys. Anyway, I do add a bit of architecture outside. I'm sorry, Mindie, I added a thing. Am I allowed to add a thing? I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I did. I added this little platform for meditation. So it's a very quiet zone for the mum. And here I am doing some pool chairs, and there is a bar in this area. This pool is freaking huge. But that's one of the reasons I came up with a mum that was a little bit selfish and a little bit fitness focused, because this pool it's for her. It's her pool, and it's giant, and maybe she always wanted a giant pool, and she just went all out when she bought the place, got this installed or something. And the kids probably love it, but yeah, it is. I love it. It's over the top and it's great. And why not? If you got a mansion, why not go over the top with something, right? So yes, this is a little bar I love outside. I was trying to put an umbrella over it, but I feel like if you zoom out too much, 2 umbrellas looks stupid. So yeah, I just quit. Okay, so this is down the side section in that little open space. My brain keeps saying, this is a carport. This is for cars, but we don't have cars. And I didn't want to size up one of those stupid toys. And also there was no driveway connection and so on and so forth. So it's not meant for that. It was never meant for that until we get cars. Deep breaths, people. Maybe one day. Anyway, I do create this really, I'm sorry, I really love that black, white and red seating area. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh, maybe you don't think so. That's fine. I won't be offended. But I do really love it. And I set up, so the thing outside is light woods, black, white, red, with a bit of grey. And yeah, I love it. I would be happy with the space. It's so open and that fresh breeze you might be getting to come through if you're in Brindleton Bay or Windenburg or wherever. And it would just feel so good to be here and be outside and sitting around at night. Oh, I didn't put a fire pit in. Man, maybe it doesn't suit the family. Feel free to put a fire pit in. Also swings. Man, I am not with it, guys. I was focusing on the mum. But honestly, that's kind of what I wanted to do. And that's how my brain saw it. Anyway, I do add a little bit to the outside here. As you saw, a few extra lights to make it a sort of social area and a little bit of greenery on the walls. I just thought it could use some fresh to go in that area. And here is the last thing I do. So anyway, enjoy the screenshots. Check out Mindie Lee. Check out my other videos. All those fun things. Do tell me if you like it, hate it, whatever. I don't care. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye!